The courtroom that morning felt less like a place of law, and more like a freezer designed to preserve secrets. The air was heavy, carrying the sterile, chemical scent of floor wax mixed with the suffocating weight of tension. It felt as though even the mahogany walls were holding their breath, waiting to see which side of history they would fall on today. Behind me, the shutter of a camera clicked a sharp, intrusive sound, then another. There. Flashes bounced off the polished brass nameplate sitting high on the bench. Judge Margaret Vane. Of course, sitting across the aisle was Councilwoman Victoria Thorne. She sat with a posture that must have been practiced in front of a mirror for decades, spine rigid, chin lifted with that specific brand of political arrogance that mimics grace but lacks warmth. Beside her sat Arthur Thorne, my father. He refused to look at me. He stared at his hands, as if guilt was something he could hide if he just stayed quiet enough. Victoria's attorney, a man named Mr. Sterling, arranged his documents on the table with the terrifying calm of someone who had already read the last page of the book and knew exactly who won. He looked bored. Why wouldn't he be? In their minds, this was just a formality. Then came the opening statement, words that were designed to pierce deeper than any legal. "This girl," Sterling said, gesturing vaguely in my direction, without making offhand eye contact, "only knows how to squander what she has never earned. She is unfit." That girl was me, Elena. The daughter Victoria had looked through like a glass window for most of my life. Now, I was the only obstacle standing between her and the substantial fortune my grandmother, Rose Sterling, had left in her will. It wasn't the greed that made my blood run cold. I was used to their greed. It was the ease with which my mother performed cruelty. She didn't even blink. The judge, Margaret Vane, nodded, faintly at the lawyer's words, a movement so small you would miss it if you weren't looking for. "And," Mr. Sterling smiled. It was that small, confident smirk of men who believe that handshakes in back rooms outrank the truth in open court. But they didn't know one thing. I had been preparing for this specific moment since the day I learned that justice in our town of Oakwood Valley often came with a heavy price tag.